Swimmers, please clear the competition pool. Warm-up is now over. Swimmers, please clear the pool. Swimmers this evening competing in our championship finals. Please remember to report to the race ready area, which is under the red canopy near the starting area at the athlete entrance area as well. good evening, and welcome to Mesa for the Arena Grand Prix Series, presented here at Mesa by visitmesa.com. At this time, please rise for the performance of our national anthem from Mesa, Arizona, Christy Adams.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Once again, Christy Adams. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this evening will feature console and championship finals in the women's and men 100-meter freestyle, 200 meters of breaststroke, 400 meters of freestyle, and the 100-meter butterfly. We'll then have one heat each of the women's and men's 400-meter freestyle relay, and then we'll come back and do it all again with our D and C finalists in those individual events. Once again, reminder to coaches that relay cards are due by 5:30. Also, scratch box for tomorrow's events will close at 5:30. Make sure and get behind your favorite athletes this evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is a prize money event. $500 to the winners of the championship final. And those of you interested in seeing your favorite athletes up close, watch for them after the championship finals. The top three will parade down to the arena shark zone at the turn end of the pool, surrounded in blue there. They may donate their prize stuffed animal to you. First up this evening is event number 1, the women's 100-meter freestyle. Consolation finalists awaiting behind the block. Consolation final. In our first race of the evening, lane 1 from Team Ceci out of Sao Paulo, Brazil is Jessica Caballero. 2 from California Aquatics, Liv Jensen. 3 from Sao Paulo is Dainara De Paula. 4 from Nation's Capital Swim Club, Katie Ledecky. And 5 from T2 Aquatics, Erica Erndl. 6 from Southern Methodist University, Nina Rangelova. 7 also from SMU, Isabella Arcila. And 8 from Jewish Community Center, Sailfish, Leah Smith. This is Katie Ledecky, top seed. We'll see her later tonight in the 400 freestyle final, and here she wins the consoles of the 100 with a 56.00 from lane number 4, second.
She was supposed to. I think she was like in the C final fly.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your championship finalists in the women's 100-meter freestyle.
They'll be side by side in lane 1. Natalie Lindborg from Sweden. Elizabeth Pelton, the great cow swimmer, the 19-year-old in lane 2. Missy Franklin in lane 3. Natalie Coughlin right next to her in lane 4. Katinka Hosu, the Hungarian from USC in lane 5. And it's Dana Vollmer, 25-year-old. Jessica Hardy in lane 7. And Kelsey Worrell out of Louisville in lane number 8.
There's Missy again. You know, it's a completely different situation for her, Trey, than it was a year ago. Very few people knew who Missy Franklin was a year ago, at least from the general public standpoint. The swimming world definitely knew her, but all of a sudden she broke out and became this huge star, elected to stay an amateur, and is now headed to Cal next year as a freshman. Will swim that powerhouse headed by Terry McKeever. Good start across the field. Looked really good in lane number 4. I believe that was Natalie Coughlin. It was. She's always very quick off the blocks and is so good underwater, and that's where she came out of that streamline and just inched ahead.
Coughlin in lane 4, Franklin right above her in lane number 3, but you see Coughlin there in the Cal white cap out in front.
Yeah, if you count 1 from the top, 8 at the bottom of your screen, that's Natalie right there in the middle of the pool, out very fast, 25.96. It's about what she went in the prelims. The only swimmer to break 26 going out, so everybody's chasing her coming home.
Coughlin 30 years old, Franklin 17 years old, lanes 4 and lane 3, and it's a battle between those two here.
Well, here comes Missy, and you can see the turnover difference between Missy and Natalie now, and Missy's going to edge her out.
And Hosu challenging as well, and Missy Franklin, the young phenom, what a future. She gets it done in the Arena Women's 100 free.
Again, it's still so hard to believe, Trey, that she's only 17 years old. That she just shows so much poise every time she swims. There's Natalie Coughlin right there. You can see her get off the blocks very well. She's got great reaction. That's one thing that Missy Franklin right above her is going to have to work on, in her further career, but you can see the turn right there. Again, Natalie has a clear lead, but right above her, that's Missy Franklin, just kind of scoping her out a little bit, not panicking, putting those blinders on, and that's what she needed to do, because I think she knew that Natalie is going to go out very fast, and then watch this great closing speed that Missy has at the very end of the race, toward the top, Natalie right in between, and then Katinka Hosu went by her as well. Still, great finish for all three swimmers, all of them under 55 seconds.
Where's the headset?
Missy Franklin, 4 golds and a bronze at the London Games. As we look at the results in the arena women's 100 free, Franklin edging out Hosu, who slips in ahead of Coughlin. Natalie finishing in 3rd place.
You know, for such an early Grand Prix, that was very impressive for Missy Franklin. That's the 7th fastest time in the world this year, so a great start here for Missy Franklin.
Franklin is with us now here in Mesa. Great close there, Missy. Congrats. How'd you feel?
Thank you. I felt awesome. You know, it's gorgeous coming out here to an outdoor pool. It's so fun, and I haven't raced Natalie or any of those girls in a while, so it felt awesome.
What was it like walking out there, Missy, seeing all those girls and knowing the hardware that everybody, including yourself, had?
It's so great. I mean, I think it's such great practice for World Champ Trials this summer. I mean, to get out here, a bunch of the college swimmers are back now, so it's really fun to be able to race them again, and it's just fun to go out there and have people that can really push you.
You know, speaking of the World Championships, have you thought about what you're going to swim this summer? Is it going to be like the schedule you had in London last year?
Pretty similar, probably. I mean, we have some 50s thrown in there, so we might do a 50 backstroke. We're still trying to figure it out, but I think it's going to be about the same event, so I think it's going to be a blast.
Thank you very much, Missy. Good job to start.
Thank you so much.
Congrats to Missy Franklin, winner of the Arena Women's 100 free. Coming up, the Arena Men's 100 free, next for Mesa.
Coming up next, we have 100 meters of freestyle for the men. That's event number 2. Consolation final. Swimmers now in the consolation final. Lane 1 from Tucson Ford is Luke Peckman. 2 Southern Methodist David Larson. 3 from Redland Swim Team Joseph Hale. 4 from Lake Forest is Connor Dwyer. 5 unattached Tom Kramer. 6 Daytona Beach Ryan Lochte. 7 swimming unattached is Kyle Gournay, and also unattached in 8 is Kyle Cohen. Lane 7 and 8 out of Redland Swim Team in California. 24-5 going out. The top split there looks like Lochte in lane number 6. Lochte edging his way to the front here as they approach 5 meters remaining in the field. Lochte at 51.32 in the prelims. 50.98 gets it done here from lane number 6. Ryan Lochte, consolation final winner. Second, lane 4, 51.02. Third goes to lane 5, 51.09. That was Dwyer in second, Kramer in third. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your championship final in the men's 100 meter
Prix from Mesa. Welcome back to the Arena Grand Prix from Mesa, presented by Master Spas. We take you to the Arena Men's 100 free. 16 Olympic medals won amongst the competitors here.
You know, it's funny because we thought the women's event was so loaded. That had 23 medals, and then you got another 16 here. Pretty incredible, these first two events here in Mesa.
Nathan Adrian, the Cal Bear, 3 golds and a silver at the Olympic Games in lane 4.
He was amazing in London. 1/100th of a second was the difference between him and James Magnuson, who won the silver medal. And there's Matt Grievers, who also had just an incredible Olympic Games, Trey. Won the 100 backstroke in London, was part of the 400 medley relay, the 400 free relay. Very, very valuable to this U.S. men's team here heading into the future.
Here's a look at the field. Roberto Gomez in lane number 1, the 24-year-old. Matt Grievers. Darian Townsend from South Africa's in lane 3, with Adrian next to him in 4. Ricky Behrens from Texas in lane number 5, had 2 golds and a silver in London. Mindaugas Soduskis, the Lithuanian, in lane 6. Lane 7 shows Anthony Irvin, coached by Dave Durden at Cal, and Robert Hurley from Australia in lane 8.
Yeah, a lot of speed early on. Nathan Adrian was the quickest in the prelims. He was 23.5 going out, the only guy to break 24 in the prelims that first 50. The other speedster, watch Anthony Irvin in lane number 7, also great speed. Ricky Behrens, he's the dark horse in this. I like him in lane number 5 as well. Hard to pick though. I mean, this is incredibly difficult to pick because there are just so many people in this event that they just have incredible strengths. Each and every one of them has so many different strengths, but I think Nathan Adrian has what it takes overall. Great speed on the front end, what he's doing now, but good on the back half as well. There's Nathan Adrian and Anthony Irvin that we just talked about.
There you go. You called it, rowdy lanes 4 and 7. Adrian and Irvin, as you see Adrian out in front there in the dark cap. Irvin and Adrian, both Cal Bears. Dave Durden would be proud right now with their effort.
Here comes Ricky Behrens in lane number 5. Adrian still way out in front. He's going to have a sensational time right here. 45, 46.
And a half body length winner, Nathan Adrian.
What a great time, 48.4. Wow. His time of 48.1 that he set earlier this year is the fastest time in the world so far, but he's right on top of that. In fact, that is the 3rd fastest time in the world this year, next to what he did back in January, and then also James Magnuson at 48.3. Such a great swim by Nathan Adrian, and so did Ricky Behrens to come in there and slip in for second, 49 flat. A lot of great swims there. You can see the replay. Once again, the start is so critical, and Nathan Adrian right there in lane number 4, it's very important to get off the blocks well where your action sets the momentum. You've got to get into that streamline before you enter that water. The speed into the water, Trey, is just as important as the distance. And I think that's where Nathan Adrian is so good. And once again, there he is, coming in lane number 4, right there in the middle of the pool. Anthony Irvin, that great speed he has, it caught up with him a little bit at the end, but still, good solid swim for him. Nathan Adrian, so much in control the entire race. Again, he really doesn't have a weakness. Going into that great straight arm recovery into that last 5 or 6 strokes, and a spectacular time to finish the race.
Nathan Adrian joins us now. Nathan, Rowdy liked your start. How'd you feel about that?
It was good. It was good. That's actually one of the things we've been working on lately. You know, using that start, carrying that speed, and using the first couple strokes to really create my rhythm.
You know, Nathan, I asked Missy about this just a second ago. What were your thoughts walking out with such a star-studded field?
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I think we, you know, the Grand Prix brought a lot of Olympians out, and some good quality racing is going to happen this weekend.
Can you compare yourself to where you were at a year ago as far as your preparation as we head into this summer?
Yeah.
Well, how do you compare? How do you feel compared to a year ago?
You know, I haven't been quite as consistent training, but you know, the things that I have done in practice have been good, and you know, just looking forward to this summer.
Well, congratulations. Good start here in Mesa.
Thank you.
Great effort by Nathan Adrian, winning the Arena Men's 100. Coming up, the women's 200-meter breast.
Women's 200-meter breaststroke consolation final. Lane 1 from Plymouth Canton Cruisers, Miranda Tucker. 2 swimming out attached from UC Santa Barbara, Catherine Records. From Venezuela in 3, Mercedes Toledo. 4, St. Andrews swimming, Rachel Bradford Feldman. And 5 from Tucson Ford Dealer Aquatic, Sarah Borandan. 6 unattached from Columbia University, Katie Miley. Unattached at 7 is Whitney Jorgensen. Lane 8, Southern Methodist University, Erica Donadan. Front here, Katie Miley. 4th place finisher at the 2013 NC2A Championships, the 100-yard breaststroke. And Miley leads the field with a 1:13.39 after 100 meters.
Except my shoes are gonna get wet today. No, they haven't been wet yet.
Miley still in control at 1:53.27 from lane 6. Here comes Miley to the touch from lane 6. 2:34.69 the winning time here in the consolation final for Katie Miley out of Columbia University. Second goes to lane 3, 2:36.17. That's Mercedes Toledo of Venezuela.
How many Rolling Stones you want? Yeah, I got a brand new spirit. We getting this done. Woke up on the
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the championship final in the women's 200-meter breaststroke.
Rebecca Soni has the records. This is a race with a couple young swimmers who really made their impact on the college scene.
We just got through watching them, didn't we, back at the NCAA championships just a few weeks ago, and coming off that could be a bit of a challenge. It could be good in a way, Trey, because they know they're going to come in not very tired like maybe some of these other swimmers. They could get back just in a little bit of hard training. And you see Bria Larson, for example. I was just talking to her on the deck just a little while ago, and she said she had a lot of adrenaline in the prelim swim because she thought the men were first and the women were. So she had to get up there and warm up very quickly and get up and race, but she's the top qualifier.
And Caitlin Leverins next to her in lane 5, won a bronze in London.
Had a great career at Cal and won a couple of team titles there, as well as some individual titles. Still the American record holder in the 200-yard IM.
Start list, Rachel Nickel from Canada in lane number 1. Raminta Varaskite, Lithuanian in lane 2. Stina Gardell from Sweden in lane 3. And it's Larson and Leverins, lane by next lane 4 and 5, and then Alia Atkinson from Jamaica in lane 6. Lane 7, Katie Freeman, and Selena Lee in lane number 8.
Another good field, a couple Olympians in there. Alia was 4th in London. Tough place to be 4th, isn't it? But still, great swim in London in the 100 breaststroke. Leverins probably the better 200 breaststroker in this group. Bria was the Olympic swimmer for the United States in the 100 distance.
Back home in Mesa, in familiar territory.
Yeah, it sure is for Bria, definitely. I just saw her father, and they are so thrilled to bring so many family members and friends to be able to watch Bria right here in her hometown. Heading over there myself to have dinner with the family on Saturday night, so it's going to be a great experience for her to be able to swim in front of her home crowd.
You see Leverins in the gold cap, right now in the lead in lane number 5, but Larson right with her.
I like the way Leverins swims long course. I think she's a better long course swimmer than she is in short course. What I mean by that is in a 200, for example, Trey, you only have 3 turns. In a 200-yard breaststroke, you have 7 turns. So those people that have much more power and much more strength are going to be better short course swimmer. You don't necessarily have to have that strength and explosiveness in long course. You really have to concentrate on your technique. And right now, Caitlin Leverins is doing a really good job of that.
Arizona connection for Leverins as well. Her hometown is Tucson, just a couple hours away.
Yeah, and she's proven that she really belongs here in this elite field. 112 flat going out. You know, technique, again, is so critical. You never want to sacrifice your distance per stroke for speed, especially in a long course 200-meter breaststroke. You've really got to be very, very patient with your stroke. You can see how Caitlin right now is kind of drawing those hands out, keeping those hands up underneath the chin, really getting as much as she can out of that kick. And Bria's hanging in there. Alia Atkinson right underneath them. I mentioned her a little while ago. She's right there. Still too close to call with 50 meters left.
Leverins won that bronze in the 200 IM in London, and she's ahead by less than a body length. And Larson making a push now in lane 4. Great battle between Larson and Leverins.
You see that Bria has really started to move much more forward with her strokes. Before she was kind of going up and down, and now all of a sudden she's really increased her turnover and gotten into that kick, and she's gone right by Caitlin Leverins.
And the Mesa native is gonna bring this home, pulling away from Leverins. Impressive finish for Bria Larson.
Boy, it really was. That last 50, almost like shot out of a cannon. I mean, all the swimmers were very good coming home. Lane 7, Katie Freeman had a good last 50 as well. But boy, I tell you, it was really unbelievable what Bria Larson was able to do that last 50 meters. And again, you know, when you're coming off an NCAA championships and you have that luxury of being a little bit rested still, there's Caitlin Leverins at the 100 mark right here. Clearly clearly in the lead, about a body length ahead of Bria and the rest of the field. And this is, once again, this is where patience is a virtue here. You've got to remember that over 200 distance, almost 2.5 minutes in the water, you need to concentrate on your stroke. Don't panic whatsoever, and Bria Larson right there did exactly that. She just kind of kept the blinders on. She didn't have that dramatic up and down the motion, and then just ride the glide all the way home to the right of your screen. Keep that head nice and still, Trey, and just a really pretty finish at the end. And 2:28 flat's a good time for her right now at this point of the season.
Bria Larson joins us on the deck now. First of all, coming back to your hometown, this has to feel good.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
What was the biggest challenge for you coming off the NCAA championships, Bria?
You know, it's always nice to have a break, and they offered us a 2-week break, but those of us coming to this meet went ahead and took 1 week to get back in the water. But, you know, we were really excited to start getting the summer season rolling to get ready for World Trials.
You've had such an incredible ride here the last couple of years, and especially in the 100 breaststroke, but now watching your 200 breaststroke, that's really taken a big form right now. You feel good about that?
Yeah, you know, the 200 breaststroke's a completely different race, and I'm ready to start focusing more on it and see what I can do.
Oh, that was a great swim. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Bria Larson, the Mesa native, with the win in the women's 200 breast. Coming up, we'll see the men in the 200 breast next.
Here we are with the consolation final. 200 meters of breaststroke, lane 1 from Shoreline Elite Aquatics is Vyacheslav Fatikov. 2 from Tucson Ford Dealer Aquatics, Zachary Hojnacki. From Redland Swim Team and Uzbekistan, and 3 is Dmitry Shvetsov. Lane 4 from UC Davis Aquatics is Scott Welts. 5, Tucson Ford Dealer Aquatics, Sam Rowan. 6 from Trojan Swim Club and Syria is Azad Al-Barazzi. 7, Current Swimming, Thomas Brewer. 8, Tucson Ford Dealer Aquatics, Austin Thompson. No surprise here that Welts takes the early lead in 4. He was the champion at the 2012 Olympic trials in this event. Welts did go on to final in the event, where he was a 5th place finisher at the London Olympics. And here Welts at 1:41.14 from lane 4. Currently for 2013, to get a spot in the top 10, you need to be under 2 minutes and 13 seconds. Welts at 2:19.6 in the preliminaries. Good race there between Rowan in 5 and Albarazzi in 6. And Welts chops off a chunk of time from his prelim to win the consolation final from lane 4 with a 2:16.45. Second goes to Rowan in 5, 2:19.32, and third is Albarazzi in 6, 2:19.63. Congratulations consolation finalists. Ladies and gentlemen,
welcome back to the Arena Grand Prix from Mesa, presented by Master Spas. We continue with the men's 200 breast. In international influence here, you see Eric Shanto of the United States with the American record, but 6 different countries represented in this one.
And this is important not only for these countries to come here and compete against the Americans, but it's good for the Americans as well. You want to have that great international flavor, especially this early in the season, to help them prepare for Barcelona.
Here's Clark Burkle in lane 8. He was 6th in this event at London.
Great family of swimming. Sister Carolyn made the Olympic team in 2008. A little bit of a surprise to make that team in 2012, Clark Burkle. And there's Mike Alexandrov, probably a little better in the 100, but his in 200 has improved dramatically. Was on that Olympic team but for Bulgaria, as you saw back in 04 and 08, and decided to become an American citizen. Well, he had dual citizenship, but decided to go for the Olympic Games as an American. Just missed it. He was 6th in the 100 breaststroke last summer at the trial.
Here's the start list. Imre Ganyel, the Israeli, BJ Johnson in lane 2. Miguelina Facundo from Argentina. Then it's Claveray from Venezuela in lane 4. Almeida from Portugal in lane 5. Alexandrov, Duckett from South Africa, lane 7. And then Burkle in lane 8. 6 countries, 8 lanes.
See Burkle outside lane 8, barely qualified. He was the 8th qualifier just to sneak in here. And he actually beat out his teammate, Scott Welts, who qualified 9th, just swam the B final. He went 2:16.45, and although that won't count as a win, it could be the top time when this is all said and done. Probably won't be, but it could be. Keep an eye on lane 8. And in the middle of the pool, though, Carlos Claveray from Venezuela, the top qualifier by almost 3 seconds. And this is where breaststroke is going, Trey. When you look at the top times, for example, in the world last year, you had 1, 2, I'm counting the top 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different countries that represented the top 10 swims last year. So this event alone has tremendous international flavor, as you said at the top.
And you see lanes 8 and 6, as advertised, out in front. Burkle and Alexandrov. BJ Johnson in lane 2 swimming well.
Well, you kind of felt like Alexandrov was going to pop off a good first 100. He's right there in lane number 6. If you count 1 at the top, 8 at the bottom of your screen, you can see Clark Burkle right in front of you at the very bottom in lane number 8. Also out there with Alexandrov. Very, very solid at this point. And then you have to look all the way across the board, as you said, up there in lane number 2 with BJ Johnson. So it's really spread out at this point.
Burkle going to Stanford for the MBA program next fall. Right now, he's in a battle with Alexandrov. In front, lane 8, Clark Burkle.
Boy, Clark's looking really good right now. You want to try to minimize the resistance that breaststroke forces. Extend that core line. You can see how he extends out, reaches out. He has minimal drag. He has that great uncanny ability to recognize where his hands need to be, especially when it compares to those ankles and that great ankle flexion that he has.
And don't forget about BJ Johnson up there, Rowdy, in lane 2.
All 3 right there touching together. Now you would think Alexandrov would fall off, but he's had some real solid 200s so far this season, so I don't think he's going to do that as much as people think he might.
Clark Burkle in lane 8.
Boy, it's really hard to see. I mean, you're looking on the screen, it's really tough to tell because
And Johnson, it looks like.
way up there, it looks like B.J. Johnson just might have this.
The Seattle native, B.J. Johnson. We've been focusing on 8 and 6, but Johnson at the top. Do they see him up there? He's in a battle with Alexandrov. And it's at the end, B.J. Johnson winning the men's 200 breast.
Wow, what a great swim for B.J. Johnson. Hey, listen, he's solid. I mean, this is a guy that was 6th in the 200 breaststroke at the Olympic trials last summer. So an Olympic trials qualifier, finalist. You know, he's got that great closing speed. So tough to tell though here. You know, in breaststroke, it's so hard to see where you're at. And BJ, especially right up there, knowing that Clark Burkle and Alexandrov are toward the bottom of your screen, you really have to use your peripheral vision if you want to see where the other swimmers are in the race. Sometimes it's good to, as I've said, to put those blinders on, but as they go right by you, Clark Burkle has the advantage here, but B.J. Johnson just kind of bided his time right here, right there at the top of your screen, looking very solid going into that 150, and that's where he started having the edge. Had great acceleration into that wall and out of it, where Clark was sort of decelerating coming off the wall. B.J. Johnson was finishing it up very quickly, and Alexandrov had a great finish as well, almost caught him at the end. Great swim for B.J. Johnson.
B.J. Johnson joining us now, winner of the men's 200 breast. B.J., we were focusing on lane 6 and 8, and you just had a great finish there to win this thing. How did it feel down the stretch?
Yeah, well, I couldn't obviously see the far side of the pool very well. Went out pretty smooth, had some energy left, tried to just close the race well. Figured there was someone to race even if I couldn't see him, and got home okay.
Was there any point in the race at all that you could see Clark or Michael swimming in that race?
I had a great race with them back in Austin a couple months ago.
Right.
So, I mean, I couldn't see them, but I knew they were there.
What kind of confidence now does this give you as we head into the summer, BJ?
I mean, it's always good to win. That was a little bit slower than Austin, which is a little disappointing. You want to kind of build through the season, but I'm ahead of where I was last year. Been pretty consistent. Training's been hard, so it's really the combination of all those things going forward that gives you the confidence.
Well, that consistency paid off here. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
B.J. Johnson, the winner of the men's 200 breast. Coming up, the women's 400 free from Mesa.
Up next, 400 meters of freestyle for the women. Consolation final. Athletes here in the consolation final, lane 1, swimming unattached from Santa Clara Swim Club, Sandra So. 2, representing the fish, Isabella Rongion. 3, from St. Andrews Swimming, Megan Maroney. 4, University of Southern California, Henriette Stinkvist. And 5, from Germantown Academy Aquatic Club, Sierra Schmidt. The Pleasanton Seahawks in lane 6 is Mariah Simons. Swimming unattached at 7, Hannah Moore. And lane 8, from Serbia and Montenegro, Andrea Basaraba. Isabella Rongion, your early leader, the 13-year-old from the Fish. Out of Virginia, Rongion in 2:07.49. Rongion's lead now cut down to just 0.07 of a second. That's Sierra Schmidt in 5, who has closed the gap. The 14-year-old from Germantown Academy. Our two youngest finalists of all the 32 finalists in this event moved out in front here in the consolation final. Joanna Stankvist now, she's in the mix from lane number 4 from the University of Southern California. And racing to the finish now, consolation final of the 400-meter freestyle, lane 5, Sierra Schmidt. She is your winner with a 4:18.42, just ahead of Joanna Stankvist in lane 4, who was a 4:18.72. And third at 4:19.13 is Isabella Rongion of the Fish.
Welcome back to Mesa, Arizona. Earlier today, Rowdy caught up with National Team Director Frank Bush.
So a couple quick questions. First of all, I know you had two of your swimmers just get married. Tell me a little bit about that, Matt Grievers, Annie Chandler, and that had to be a special moment for you.
I don't know if that'll ever happen again. I know that some of my swimmers still date, and there's a few of them out there, but Matt and Annie are just very, very special. And the Chandler family I've got to know very, very well. So it was fun. I was telling Mike Unger earlier that Grievers was balling. Tom Chandler was balling. Annie's father. Annie was solid as a rock. So it was wonderful, though. For me, it was kind of like a reunion from so many athletes that I'd coached were all there.
What's it like being back in your neck of the woods where you had so much success at the University of Arizona for so many years? What's it like being back here?
Oh, it's wonderful. And I'm going to speak maybe a little bit differently in that I really felt like we only have one Grand Prix meet that's outdoors right now. That's Santa Clara. And I felt like we needed another one. And when you're just coming out of the collegiate season and or the short course club season, you need a transition and something that's going to spark some interest and kind of fire up everybody's furnace a little bit. And being outdoors in a beautiful place like this, I think it's the right thing. From everyone that I've talked to, both athletes and coaches, they're really excited about being here. So my hat's off to Mesa for putting this on in the way they're doing it, because it's really going to turn into, it's a great event right now, but it's going to turn into something really special in the future.
Thank you so much, Frank. Good luck this summer.
Thank you, Rowdy.
We'll hear more from Frank Bush later in the show. Right now, time for the women's 400 free. You see the records, Allison Schmidt out of the University of Georgia with the American mark. And a young phenom in lane 4, Katie Ledecky, just 16 years old.
The only American in the top 10 in the world this year so far, and she did that time 4:07 flat in the prelims earlier today. So we should see a very, very special swim, at least for an early season swim, right here in this 400. She's about 6 seconds ahead of everybody else in the field.
Chloe Sutton just above her in lane 3. Finished 10th in the 400 free at the Olympics.
Chloe Sutton also having a great career up to this point, only 21 years old, still very young in the field. I mentioned 6 seconds. She was 6 seconds ahead of Sutton. Hosu went 4:09, so she was solid again, a second event. So how much is this going to weigh on her as she keeps swimming event after event?
Andreina Pinto from Venezuela. Rachel Zielinskis in lane 2. Then Sutton and Ledecky. Katinka Hosu, 9 events in 3 days here. She's in lane 5. Leah Smith in lane 6. Chelsea Chanel and Lynette Lim in lane 8. Leah Smith, the 17-year-old, in lane number 6.
Well, again, let's break it down. She was 2:01 flat going out, Ledecky. Back in 2:06 flat. The top time in the world this year is 4:05.6 by Belmonte Garcia from Spain. I think she's going to go right by that. I can't see her not going faster than 4:05. I mean, it just, based on what she did in the prelims alone, she just was cruising as I was talking to her. And Frank Bush mentioned Mike Unger, our assistant executive director at USA Swimming, and also helps produce the telecast. You know, when we were talking to Katie earlier, Mike was telling me, gosh, you know, she's gotten a lot taller, and she has. She's really grown up and gotten taller and gotten stronger. I asked her, I said, do you lift weights? And she said, no, I still don't lift weights. And she doesn't really need to in a long course version.
See her in the white cap, Ledecky in lane number 4 out in front, and Hosu, great career at USC in lane 5.
Her coach, Bruce Gimmel, said it was the easiest 4:07 he'd ever seen, which really bodes well for this race here in the final. She's going to be a huge factor. She's also got some tough decisions ahead of her, Trey. She's got the 1500 this summer at the World Championship, an event that is not contested at the Olympic Games. So she's got a wide range of freestyle events to choose from. She's got the 200 freestyle, which, you know, automatically helps put her on that 800 freestyle relay. If she wants to come down, she can go up to the 1500. It's going to be a challenge, no doubt about it.
And a different training set, different habits, right, in each of those events.
Yeah, and it's a wide array of events. And if my best guess would be, if anything fell off the map, it would be the 1500 Trey, only because it's not an Olympic event. If it was an Olympic event, obviously she'd be very, very focused on that. But because it only goes up to 800 for women, which is just ridiculous in my mind. I mean, how can the women not be swimming the 1500 in 2013 is just ridiculous. I mean, it's just crazy that the women are still swimming an 800 and the men swimming a 1500 in the Olympic Games. But here's the 200 right there, 2:001, about a second faster than she was in the prelims. Hosu doing a really good job right underneath her of staying close to her, but you can see
almost
Ledecky,
2 body lengths now.
Yeah, you're right, Trey, almost 2 body lengths, and just looks so controlled.
Hometown Bethesda, Maryland. Ledecky getting better and better as this race wears on in lane number 4.
She was 1:01.5, that second 100. So if she stays consistent, goes, you know, 1:01.5, 1:01.5, something like that, she's 4:03. And remember, top time in the world this year, 4:05.6. That's what you need to be looking at this point. That would be perfect for her at this point in the season. Remember, we're mid-April. We got a long way to go. Even though it's 3.5 months, it seems like a short time away. We still have a long way to go. And she's out there doing it by herself, which is always tough in the distance events.
What kind of a statement would that be to get a time like that here in April?
Well, I think it's a huge statement because I think a lot of people worldwide anyway, not here in the United States, I think worldwide maybe thought, well, maybe that's a little bit of a fluke what happened last summer. It was no fluke. When she won that 800-meter freestyle in London last summer, that was no fluke. 3:03. She's 1:03.1, so she's really coming back to the field. Not only coming back to the field, but kind of coming back down to earth a little bit based off that first 200. But still, even if she goes 1:03 again, she's 4:06 and still a good top 10 time in the world this year. And this is where the training takes just so much out of you because I know she's in the middle of some incredibly tough training right now. So are all the swimmers, by the way.
Great ovation from the fans here watching Ledecky at work. She's extended the lead despite tailing off a little bit. Still a huge lead.
Yeah, you're right. The lead is just, the other swimmers are almost disappearing. And this is just a 400. 402, 403. She still may get there.
405, yeah. 2-1.
How about that? 102 on the way home. Fastest time in the world this year. Wow. She came home, didn't she, Trey?
Very impressive. Hosu finishing in second place, a distant second. Ledecky does make a statement here.
Yeah, and it was 6 seconds, by the way. 6 seconds ahead of everybody, at least in this final. This is at the halfway point. You can see that she's really built up a great lead. 200 going out, which means she was 200, 205 going out. I mean, the back half of her race was 205. And there's a little underwater, but stroke of that great catch out front, keeping everything in that front quadrant, so to speak. She leads with the top of her head, really good at running that line forward. Small, light kick behind her. She puts her pressure on those hands and those forearms, and look at the distance that she had on everybody else. She's so good off the walls as well. Boy, she's going to be tough in Barcelona. She's got a lot of decisions ahead of her as well.
Katie Ledecky, the winner of the women's 400 free. 405.21. That has to sound good, Katie.
Yeah, it felt really good, better than what it was last year at this time, so I'm really happy with that.
Did you know, or do you know, that that's the fastest time in the world so far this year?
I don't think it is, actually. I think Camille Muffat went a 404 last week, but...
Oh, she's really up on this. Our stats say it's only 405.6, but still, that's a sensation.
No, I'm happy with it, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, you have to be happy. How much has your life changed? You mentioned a year ago, from a year ago, Katie. Now you're a sophomore, not a freshman, so you're not at the bottom of the food chain anymore.
No, it's been great to get back to school, just living a normal life. Everybody's been great at school and back home, so I've just been having a lot of fun.
Well, you sure had fun there. Great job.
Thank you.
Congratulations to Katie Ledecky as she wins the women's 400 free. We'll hear from the men in the 400 free coming up.
Ladies and gentlemen, up next, 400 meters of freestyle for the men. Consolation final. Here in the console final of the men's 400-meter freestyle, lane 1, swimming on attached is Yetzio Morales. 2 from Trojan Swim Club is Max Jabin. 3, Tiger Aquatics, Robert Ribarin. Swimming unattached from Hungary and Terrapin Swim Team in lane 4 is Zombor Zana. 5, Mission Viejo Ignatadores, Nicholas Norman. 6 from Venezuela, Charlie Sanchez. 7, Palo Alto Stanford Aquatics, Curtis Ogren. And an 8 from Venezuela is Andy Arteta. Sanchez of Venezuela in 6, together with Zana of Hungary in 4. Sanchez, 159.09 at 200 meters, 159.7 from Zambor in 4. Sanchez at 2:30.22, a full 2 seconds faster than his prelim performance, where he was a 4:05.40 overall. Sanchez at just 15 years of age, leading the field here from lane number 6. Here comes Curtis Ogren of Palo Alto, Stanford. Great finish here for the swimmer in lane 7. Also lanes 1 and 2. Duking it out, Morales in 1, Jabin in 2. Very close finish here, and it does go to Yetzio Morales in lane 1, 4:02.80. He out touches Max Jabin in 2, was a 4:03.17. And third goes to Charlie Sanchez in 6, 4:03.51.
Welcome back to the Arena Grand Prix for Mesa, presented by Master Spas. We take you back now to Rowdy's interview with Frank Bush. We asked Frank about the prospects for the men's team without Michael Phelps.
Well, you can't fill his shoes, so we're not going to kid ourselves and say somebody's going to fill Michael's shoes. That's not going to happen. I'm glad we have Ryan still to anchor us, and we've got some other good young members of the team too. So I guess, Rowdy, the way I see it is, we are in the first year of this quad that we're trying to develop towards 16. And how that all plays out, I'm not sure. But I'm excited about it because there are so many good young athletes out there. So it's I'm not really that concerned about it. And I know that if we're geared up so much for the very first year in a quad, that's probably not where we should be. I think this is the year that we're gonna feel things out a little bit. Some new names are gonna come up. And we'll take our team and see how they compete as basically a new group without Michael.
I like that he said that, Trey, because I think they are going to take their lumps a little bit this summer as they experience in new events. And I also talked to him about the women's team, and he felt just as confident about the women. A lot of great young swimmers and veterans as well.
Well, here's the men's 400 free. Speaking of guys that can take the torch, as you look at Biederman and Jensen with the records. In lane number 2, Connor Dwyer, the 24-year-old, a gold in the 4x200 free relay at the Olympics.
Well, one of my favorites just because he's a Cubs fan. Anybody that's a Cubs fan can't be all that bad. Now, a great kid, is another star that the United States is really going to be depending on a lot.
Matt McLean As you look at also a gold medalist in that same event from Virginia, 2-time ACC Swimmer of the Year.
Yeah, Matt is another one that in this 200 freestyle distance, both he and Connor are going to be huge factors in the years to come because, yes, Michael Phelps is gone, and yes, we're going to need, or the United States rather, is going to need, you know, another one to step up, and it could be Connor or Matt.
Here's the field. Chad LaTourette in lane 1. Dwyer next to him in lane 2. Matteo D'Angulo from Colombia. Anders Nielsen, the Dane, in lane 4. There's Michael Klee in lane 5. Matt McLean. Sam Smitty in lane 7. And then lane 8, a Venezuelan, Miguel Perez.
Keep an eye on Klee in lane number 5. You see Connor Dwyer as he steps up to the blocks. All the Gators come in here really tired. They do not swim very well in season. Greg Troy, the coach there at Florida, knows when he's able to get those kids to swim really fast, and they swim fast when they really need to, and that is at the all high caliber, high point meets. Michael Klee in lane number 5. He was 3rd at the Olympic trials behind Vanderkay and Connor Dwyer. Only 34/100ths of a second off of making that Olympic team. So tough to be 3rd at an Olympic trials. Almost like you'd rather be 7th or 8th than 3rd because you know that you just missed making that team.
Off the turn there, Anders Nielsen from Denmark and Matt McLean, lanes 4 and 6 out in front. Nielsen in the gold cap there.
Top time in the world so far this year, 3:42.9 by Sun Yang, the great Chinese Olympic gold medalist, world record holder in the 1500. He's about 4 seconds faster than anybody else in the world. No Americans in the top 10 so far this year, which is not really a surprise. A lot of those countries have had their national championships. A lot of them come from down under, Australia, right in the middle of their summer season. So you're going to see a lot of top 10 times from different countries that are not the United States. The U.S. will start to load those up as the summer goes on.
Continues to be Nielsen there in the gold cap and Matt McLean. Nielsen, his club team, the University of Michigan swim team, the national champions for the men. And it's McLean right now, the Virginia product, with a bit of an edge in lane 6.
What a great job Mike Bottom did, Trey. You and I were at that men's NCAA championships a couple weeks ago, and to see Michigan win that for the first time in 18 years. That was incredible. Mike Bottom had that reputation as a great sprint coach, but it was their middle distance and distance swimmers that came through in the end for him. And Connor Yeager and so many others. We'll see Connor Yeager later on this summer. I like McLean looking right now, don't you, Trey? I mean, he looks very easy.
Big 6'6" frame there, out in front.
Just great posture, great balance, great line. Those 3 words are so incredibly important in freestyle. That head in line with your spine. He keeps that head down. He just breathes just slightly into that trough a little bit where he could catch a view to the left. He's got that strong 2-beat kick. I mean, a lot of middle distance and distance swimmers now are going to that strong 6-beat kick. But his 2-beat kick really seems to do him well because it's so incredibly strong each time he takes it. And he keeps that kick in line still, even though that strong 2-beat goes along.
McLean made some history, first in ACC history to win ACC Swimmer of the Year back-to-back years. He was destined for greatness.
Yeah, and this is, once again, he's very young in the sport. 24 is just getting going, and you know that he's going to have a great career on the international scene. We've seen that at Virginia. We saw that last summer when he made the Olympic team. I don't know. Watch Klee, though. Watch Klee. He's not giving up on this. Seems to be really getting into a stroke. They both are going by Nielsen.
Klee, who swims for Club Wolverine there in lane 5, making a push on McLean in lane 6. He's moved into 2nd place now.
Yeah, he's going to give McLean a race here at the end. Both of them really getting into their turnover, and now their kicker's starting to put in, and that 2-beat's gone to a 6-beat. I think Klee's just going to run out of room.
McLean and Klee, can McLean hold him off? It's close, but McLean for the victory, but a great finish by Klee as he finishes in 2nd.
It was, wasn't it? He closed on him. Boy, look at that. Only, what, 24 1/100ths of a second was the difference. 2/10 of a second there at the end. Great close by Klee, but a great overall swim by McLean. Here's the 200 mark right there. McLean really solid out in front, going by Nielsen at this point. Nielsen had the lead early on, but then Matt McLean, excuse me, really looked good, especially underwater. Coming into the 300 turn, that head turns as little as possible. And when he inhales, that's when your head turns, right when you breathe. He fits his body right in, he fits his breathing right in with his body rotation. And this is where Klee started to make his move. And look how far Klee came off that wall there on that last 15. So you knew he was going to have a great charge at the end. Both of them put some hurting on that wall. The wall's going to feel that tomorrow. That's a great finish for both.
So Matt McLean edging out Michael Klee to win the men's 400 free here in Mesa, Arizona. Great finish as Anders Nielsen finishes in 3rd place. He was in the hunt as well. Matt McLean joins us now poolside, and Matt, steady race. He had to hold off Klee there at the end.
Yeah, I knew he was going to be there at the end. After training with him for as long as I have, I knew that he was going to be coming real hard at the end, so I wanted to get out. It's one of those races where I wasn't feeling real good, and I knew I was going to be hurting, so I just tried to put myself in that hurt box as soon as I could and hang on.
How has training been going for you since London?
It's been good. I've made a lot of changes, hopefully ones that will pay off. It's the first time I've raced long course. I was at short course Worlds and I did some yards time trials, but it's good to be back in a long course pool, especially here. It's beautiful here.
What are you looking for to accomplish this summer, Matt, as we head in the World Championships?
I've always been one to try and keep my goals to myself, but I had a lot of disappointments last summer, so I'm just kind of looking to put those behind me and move forward and be as productive as possible with the changes that I've made.
Well, congratulations on that race. Good job.
Thank you.
The Virginia native Matt McLean with the winner in the men's 400 free. Coming up, the women in the 100 fly from Mesa.
Up next, Event 7 Women's 100-meter Butterfly Consolation Final. Lane 1, University of Louisville, Tanya Kalanian. Unattached from Cal in 2 is Rachel Bootsma. Unattached from Cal in 3 is Cindy Tran. Unattached from Redland Swim Team in 4, Sonia Wang. Unattached from Cal in 5 is Liz Pelton. Unattached from Palo Alto Stanford, lane 6 is Allie Howe. From T2 Aquatics in 7 is Erica Erndl. And unattached in lane 8 is Linnea Mack. We saw a 101.4. Actually, it was a 1:00.09 that got This is Allie Howe from Palo Alto Stanford in lane 6. And Howe is your winner at 1:00.78. 1:01.94, that's good for second from Sonia Wang in lane 4. And third, lane 2, 1:02.03, that's Rachel Bootsma.
To the sprints now, the women's 100 fly. Here in Mesa, Arizona, Dana Vollmer has the world and American marks, and she is in the spotlight here today. Dana, 25 years old, 4 golds in lane number 3.
Top 2 Americans from last year are in this event. Dana Vollmer, the world record holder, Olympic gold medalist. What an incredible summer she had last year. Doesn't she look relaxed, Trey? Married now and just really living the life of what it takes to be a superstar in this sport. And Claire Donahue finished second to her, with only 2 Americans ranked in the top 10 in the world last year. Great meet.
And here's the start list. Catherine McLaughlin in lane 1, Dinara De Paula from Brazil, then Vollmer, Kelsey Worrell from Louisville in lane 4, Katinka Hosu, her 3rd final today, Donahue, Caitlin Leverins in lane 7, and Michelle Seffel in lane 8. And Hosu, how about the events she's had here?
Busy, and you know, she's so well-rounded. She can swim so many events, had a great NCAA career for USC, and won the 200 fly there, the 400 IM. She swam the 200 freestyle at an Olympic Games. She's been on the Olympic team since 2004. She's just been really such a solid veteran here at the age of 23, still continuing to swim fast. Three swimmers under a minute in the prelims. Vollmer, Worrell, and Hosu, all of them 59.2, within 7/100ths of a second of each other. Top time in the world this year, 57.66 by Sjöström from Sweden, the former world record holder in this event. Vollmer broke her world record last summer.
See Vollmer in the Cal swim cap in lane 3, but lane 6 right now, Donahue with the advantage.
Yeah, Claire Donahue, boy, here's somebody that really came out of the blue to make that Olympic team last summer. She was 32nd in the 100 butterfly back in 2008. Moves all the way up to 2nd and looking really good now. You look at all those veterans across the board, and right now it's Claire Donahue.
And Vollmer challenging in lane 3 and Worrell in lane 4, but it's Donahue in lane 6. It's going to be close at the finish.
Worrell's really charging.
Donahue and Worrell.
It's Worrell.
So Kelsey Worrell, the 18-year-old, winning the 100 fly.
How about those Cardinals? They're doing pretty good, aren't they? University of Louisville, the top qualifier comes through. 18. Basketball and in the pool. Wow, what a great finish for Kelsey Worrell. Watch her when she comes through. There she is right there. Count at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4 right there. Oh, now look at this. Wait a second now. There's a DQ. Well, let's get official word here. You saw the replay. I didn't see anything on the start there.
That would mean Donahue would win in lane 6 if that's the case.
If that's the case, I will watch the turn here. There's Worrell right there. Let's see if she does anything here. She squares up. I couldn't see anything there. You have to come in with both hands together. You can't come in one at a time. That might have been the case. Remember, the referee is right over. There's Donahue. Watch the finish for Worrell. Wow, what a finish. Still, amazing finish there by both the swimmers to get in. And now Claire Donahue wins it.
Claire, congratulations. What a finish. It was a great race. How'd you feel?
Thank you. I mean, it felt good for now. I mean, it always hurts that last 15, but overall it was good. I'm really happy with it.
Well, now, you know, we talked about how many lives have been changed since London last summer, and obviously yours did. I mean, we talked about you being 32nd in 2008, and all of a sudden you're second, you make your first Olympic team. How much has it changed for you?
Tremendously. I feel like it's just go, 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 but I love it. I mean, going to schools, being able to talk to kids and even adults about my story and how far I've come. So it's been awesome.
What advice do you give kids, especially ones that
go to some of those small universities. I mean, you went to Western Kentucky, not known as a super house. I mean, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the coolest part, is to be able to show that it doesn't matter, you know, where you start. It matters how far you go, and that's pretty much what I try to tell the kids.
Claire, thanks for joining us. Claire Donahue, the winner in the women's 100 fly here. DQ in lane 4.
There is Orel. Watch, you can only.
So Claire Donahue, the winner of the women's 100 fly. The men coming up next.
Consolation final. Lane 1 from Phoenix Swim Club is Kyle Shore. It's 2, Bowl School, Ryan Murphy. 3, Club Wolverine, Tyler Clary. 4, Daytona Beach, Ryan Lochte. 5, Southern Methodist, David Larson. 6 from East Brisbane Swim Team is Zach Dalby. 7 unattached is Nikita Denisyako. And an 8 unattached is Kyle Gournay.
Do we have time? That's the key. Okay, all right.
Lochte had the 6th best 100 butterfly last year. He was a 51.65. And it is Lochte in control here from lane number 4. And here comes Ryan Lochte to the wall at 54.48. He's your champion in the consolation final. Second, lane 3, Tyler Clary, 55.14, and third from lane number 8 is Kyle Gournay out of Redland Swim Team, swimming unattached. He was a 55.23.
A DQ in lane 4.
Watch Worrell right there.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the championship final in the men's 100-meter butterfly.
The men's 100 fly now. Lightning quick, and the middle of the pool will be the focus as you see the Michael Phelps records, 49.82.
That's what I went in freestyle, Trey. Don't laugh. I see you over there laughing.
Here's Tom Shields, 3-time NCAA champ in lane 5.
Oh, yeah. He is amazing. He went 43 on the relay for Cal in the fly, not freestyle, on the butterfly leg of that relay.
His Cal teammate, Marcin Tarczynski.
Yeah, Tarczynski, just part of that great Cal contingent, won the national championship last year, finished second this year. They have been really on fire with Coach Dave Durden, also the coach of Nathan Adrian.
He swims for Poland. You see Tom Kramer in lane 1. The Israeli from Singapore, Joseph Schooling in lane 2. Justin Lynch is in lane 3. Tarczynski and Shields 4 and 5. Eugene Godso, Stanford lane 6. Bobby Boyer, also a Stanford Cardinal. And Daniel Medwed, lane 8.
You look at Justin Lynch in lane 3. He's only 16 years old. There's Tom Shields, the favorite, or at least the co-favorite. He was 4th at the Olympic trials in 2012. He's got that capability to swim a great long course race, but this is what he's got to do now. He's got to translate what he did short course into the long course season. He certainly has that capability. Again, in lane number 3, though, 16 years old, Justin Lynch is the national age group record holder in the 13 and 14 age group. Swims for the Terrapins, Coach Paul Stafford. Lane 1 at your top, Trey. Lane 8 at the bottom. Such good underwaters Tom Shield has. And that's just not going to help him as much as it does short course, obviously, with 2 more extra turns in a 25-yard pool. You can see him right there looking pretty good going out early on.
His personal best, 51.86. He's in the white cap in lane 5.
Little long on that turn right there. Let's see what he does coming off the wall. You see where he's so much better off the wall. There's that 15-meter mark that you've got to be careful not to go by. You don't have to worry about that as much short course. You still have the 15-yard mark, or 15-meter mark rather, but here he is coming off that first turn looking pretty solid there. This is where he's got to be good, though, the last 15 meters.
Look at Tarczynski right with him in lane 4, Shields and Godso in lane 6, and
it is Tarczynski, you're right.
Tarczynski out-touches him at the very end.
You saw that coming, Trey. You saw him really pouring it on the last 15 meters. And this is what you get when you have 2 great teammates finishing 1, 2, 16 100ths of a second of a difference between the 2. Wow. Great race between those 2 guys. Here they are right there, lanes 4 and 5. You can see them both getting off the blocks very well. Tarczynski actually maybe off a little bit better, that reaction, just a touch better. But underwater Shields is just so good. And again, I think he'll be able to translate that when he goes into this long course season. There he is, Tarczynski right above him. Tarczynski had a terrible turn. He was real long on the finish there on that turn. But what he did coming off was once again, he didn't panic. This is a situation in long course swimming where you really have to maintain that composure, and he did all the way coming home, knowing that his teammate was right next to him, puts his head down. Look, this is where he put his head down. 1, 2, 3, and then that last stroke, that last great stroke was the difference. Super race.
Marcin is with us now. You got your teammate there, Shields. What was the difference there down the stretch?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that race. I think I was a little slow on the way out, but thankfully my second 50 was better, so I could catch up. Yeah, that was kind of the idea behind my race. I tried to stay long and big in the water and just like build throughout the race, so I'm pretty happy with that. Well, I saw him at 75-meter mark, and I think it was hurting pretty badly, so yeah, I was like, yeah, I gotta catch this guy. I mean, we're used to racing against each other, so it's nothing new, just like a little more spectators right now. Yeah. Thank you.
Marcin Tarczynski with the win, beating out his Cal teammate Tom Shields, and Eugene Godso finishing in third place in the men's 100 butterfly here in Mesa, Arizona. Great day 1, Bria Larson, some of the young stars shining, and the Olympians were big as well. A great effort here, day 1 in the desert.
Yeah, it was. It was a lot of stars you saw. Katie Ledecky, Bria Larson, Nathan Adrian, amazing day.
Thanks to Rowdy Gaines, I'm Trey Bender saying so long from Mesa, Arizona at the Arena Grand Prix from Mesa.
We have here the squad from Venezuela, our solo entry. Women's 400-meter freestyle relay. Leading off is Jesselric Pinto. Pinto leads off at 1:00.96. In the water now is Wendy Rodriguez. Don't hesitate to help out our visitors here from Venezuela all by themselves here in this race. Give them a little wave or a cheer as they come in and out of the walls. Rodriguez pulls in at a 2:02.42, halfway through the race. For Venezuela in the water now, we have Erica Torres. Exchange, you have a 3:04.98. Anchor Lake swimmer is Mercedes Toledo. Good swim here from Venezuela at 4:07.96. Up next for you is event 10, 400-meter freestyle relay for the men. Heat 1. Here in the men's 400 freestyle relay, lane 3 is Mesa Aquatics Club, 4 Redland Swim Team, 5 is Venezuela, and 6 is Linkoping Swim Club. This is Oscar Ekstrom out in front for Linkoping in 6. Daniel Tulipov in 4 from Redlands. Jesus Lopez in 5 from Venezuela. And then Seth Matty in 3 from Mesa. 51-7, the lead split from Ekstrom of Linkoping. That team comes to us from Sweden. Second best was a 51-42. That's Tulipov of Redlands. Swimmers in the water now. Lane 3 is Justin Garner. 4, Dmitry Shvetsov. 5, Miguel Perez. And 6 is Pontus Palmquist. It's Redland swim team out in front. Shvetsov got to the wall. They were a 144.32. Ahead of Venezuela in 5. And in the water now we have Ross McDonald from Mesa in 3. Joseph Hale in 4 for Redlands. For Venezuela in 5 is Antoine Kosny. And 6 from Linkoping is Carl Lindborg. A lot of speed here from the Redland swim team. And your Anchor Lake swimmers now. John Dowd is in 3. Daniel Buchan in 4. Charlie Sanchez in 5, and Marcus Peel in lane 6. And here comes Daniel Buchan to the wall for Redland swim team, and they are victorious unofficially with a 3:28.19. Second in lane 5 is Venezuela, 3:31.09. And third goes to Linkoping Swim Club in 6, 3:32.63. So we go now back to the top of our event order. Well, we will feature D and then C finalists. Event 1, women's 100-meter freestyle. D final. One from Venezuela, Jeserick Pinto. 2 unattached, Sonia Wang. 3 unattached is Catherine Ladd. 4 unattached, Rachel Bootsma. 5 unattached is Kelly Benjamin. 6 from the Pleasanton Seahawks, Iris Brand. 7, Bowl School, Jessica Hodgson. 8 unattached, Sydney Tran. Looks like anybody's race here, perhaps the outside lanes. That's Cindy Tran in 8. Unattached from California Aquatics, and also lane 1, Jeserick Pinto, Venezuela. Watch for 5 as well, and the touch does go to lane 5, 57.66 for Kelly Benjamin. She's your winner here in the D final. Second went to lane 3, 57.82. That's Catherine Ladd. C final. Lane 2 from the AK Sharks, Clara Smitty. 3 unattached is Linnea Mack. 4 unattached, Chelsea Chanel. 5, Glenview Titan Aquatic Club, Olivia Smoliga. And 6 from Sao Paulo, Brazil is Etienne Medeiros. 7 unattached, Catherine McLaughlin. And an 8 from Bulldog Swimming is Cheyenne Kaufman. This is Chelsea Chanel unattached. And she wins with a 56.64 from lane number 4. Second in lane 8, 57.31 for Cheyenne Kaufman. Go now to the men's 100-meter freestyle D final. D finalist lane 1 from Iceland is David Adelsteinsson. 2 from Drury University, Doman Arter. 3, Davy Natadoris, Jesus Marin. 4 from Malta, Andrew Chetkuti. And 5 unattached is Herbert Ben. 6, Bowl School, Ryan Murphy. 7 unattached, Zombar Zana. 8 from Golden West is Titus Knight. Chetkuti of Malta was at 52.50 in the prelims. He's in control here from lane 4, and he's your winner with a 51.93. Second at 52.52 is lane 5, Herbert Ben. And a tie there for second. Tying with Ben was lane 6, Ryan Murphy of the Bowl School. C final. Our C final now in the water. Lane 1 from Venezuela is Jesus Lopez. His teammate in 2, Miguel Perez. 3, Linkoping Swim Club, Oscar Ekstrom. 4, Palo Alto Stanford is Jeffrey Chia. And 5 from Redland Swim Team is Daniel Tulipar. 6 from Terrapins, Justin Lynch. 7, Phoenix Swim Club, Kyle Shores. And an 8 from Bowl School is Joseph Schooling. Great performance here from Chia in lane number 4, and he wins with a 51.46. 3/10 improvement off his prelim time. The second from lane number 8, 52.42, Joseph Schooling of the Bowl School. And third at 52.53 from lane 7 is Kyle Shores of Phoenix Swim Club. Up next, we have event number 3, women's 200-meter breaststroke. We do not have a D final in this event. C final. Here in the C final of the women's 200-meter breaststroke, lane 1 unattached is Hannah Holman. 2, Frisco Aquatics, Destiny Nelson. And 3 from Tualatin Hill Swim Club, Blaze Wittenauer Lee. 4, T2 Aquatics, Ksena Golovkina. And 5 unattached is Mallory Korenwinder. 6, Gator Swim Club, Sarah Lineff. 7 unattached is Kate Didion. And an 8 from Rio Salado Swim Club, Ashley Grijalva. Top time this morning, Golovkina was a 2:43.47. She's your top seed in lane number 4. And she does lead this race with 50 meters remaining.